Dave, do you have an update on Clayton?
No, he's going to get some testing on Monday. Came in and worked out today in the weight room. Still some soreness. I think that obviously he's not going to do any baseball activity today, and I don't think we'll know anything more definitive until after those Monday scans.
Are you proceeding as if he will not pitch again for you guys this season?
I think so. There's always a chance, but I think right now where we're at, we're going to kind of proceed kind of with that mindset.
Now that you've had close to 24 hours, I guess, to think about this, when you say that, like, what do you think about? How do you feel when you say
that? Certainly saddened. Hoping we never had to get to this point. You want to be certainly very thoughtful and sensitive to Clayton, but in the same breath, still kind of making sure we stay focused on moving forward. So that's kind of where we're all at.
And how does his injury impact Julio's role in the postseason?
Well, I think it now clearly puts him starting a playoff game, where I think that before you could kind of play with the idea of how to kind of deploy Julio with what makes most sense to win the most possible games. But I think right now it's very clear that he's going to start a playoff game for us. So that kind of adds more clarity, I guess.
And then with Julio today, will he proceed as a sort of normal workload?
I think that's contingent. I think obviously there's a game going on right now in the Bay, and it matters. It affects kind of how, Julio's workload today. But obviously I know that, he has a chance to win 20 games, which is really important. It's a feather in his cap going forward. But balancing that with the workload that he's taking on all year and making sure he's sharp and fresh, as we get ready for the postseason too.
So if the Giants win here, you could possibly cut him short a little bit here today?
Potentially, yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Next question is from JP Hornstra. Go ahead, JP.
Hey, Dave. Going back to Clayton for a second. After the first injury 3 months ago or so, did you ever think it could possibly get to this point? Is there a sort of element of nervousness in the back of your mind?
Yeah, I think we all knew the possibility that it could get to this point. And he was determined to do everything he could in his power to see this thing through this year, to be a part of it, as he noted last night. And unfortunately, it gave way last night, but we kind of knew, with the possibility of this might happen.
And your sort of pessimism that he will not pitch again this season, is that based on sort of what you knew about the nature of the injury in the first place, or just strictly on how he's feeling right now?
I think it's more of the history of the injury, the timetable, the downtime of throwing a baseball, then the buildup, and kind of where we're at, on the schedule.
Totally different note. I saw Gavin out here pregame shifting around. I think he was taking balls at like 4 different positions. Is that more of a long-term thought about him as a utility player, or could he be moving around quite a bit here between now and whenever your season ends?
It's not. I think right now this is solely driven by short-term, giving us as many options as possible. Once we get to the off season and you look at the roster, then you can kind of make more, better decisions. You can make better decisions. So I think that right now we see him as an everyday middle of the infield guy. But right now in this point in time, it's best for the Dodgers to have him, have that versatility.
Last one from me. Who starts for you guys tomorrow?
Walker's going to start. Walker's going to start. We'll just kind of see how much leash we give them, which would matter as far as today's game kind of matters.
Thank you.
Next questions from Bill Plaschke. Go ahead.
Yeah, Doc, no matter what happens, statistically, you've had one of the best seasons in club history. Do you have to have a division championship to make that fulfilling, or is that fulfilling unto itself?
Well, I mean, the regular season is fulfilling. It's absolutely fulfilling. Obviously, the ultimate goal is to win a championship. But I will say this, Bill, is the people that don't appreciate what an organization does over the course of 6 months and thinks it's a waste, they have no clue. And it's just discrediting everyone that puts a lot of time into this whole thing, this whole operation, the day to day. So, and I say that and still expecting to win a championship this year, but to discredit in any way the regular season is very, very short-sighted and very ignorant.
Is it amazing to you that you win 104 games at least, and some people think it's a disappointment?
It's the people that have never played at a high level and that think they know, but they don't. So that's the noise that I'm proud of our guys that they don't listen to, because it's just, again, it's a bunch of people who share that view are clueless. So, and haven't been in the grind and understand what it takes to win 100 games in a major league season. So, yeah, so I really don't care, but because I know how hard it is. But again, once we get through the regular season, however it plays out, the goal is to start a new season in the postseason and win one game at a time to ultimately hoist that trophy up once again.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
Last one's from Fabian. Go ahead.
Hey Dave, similar question to the one about Julio. How does Clayton's injury sort of impact how you plan on using Tony Gonsolin during the playoffs?
I don't know. He's in the mix. He'll be pitching leverage innings, whether it's a start, whether it's kind of multiples. We haven't decided, and opponent matters, and how we get there, all that stuff.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, guys.